The next thing that we're going to look at doing is creating an assignment for our class. Over on the left-hand side, if you go to your gradebook, you'll see your gradebook show up in the center here. Now I don't have any students in my demo course, but you'll see that the students' names would show up in the first column and their grades would show up in the grid here. This plus over in the upper right-hand corner is how I'm going to add an assignment. If I click on the plus, I have some choices. I can add an assignment, a test or quiz, a discussion, or a grading column. We're going to focus on adding an assignment today. The test or quiz feature here is when you create a test in Schoology that Schoology will grade for you. So if you are assigning any work in class or if you are giving a test in class to students, that will fall under the add an assignment category. So click on add an assignment and a window will pop up where you'll get to put in information about your assignment. You're going to put in the name of your assignment. We're going to call this practice worksheet number 1. I can provide a description, and you have all sorts of text editing features here that you can use to make your text in the description box look however you'd like it. You may add links and files for students to access. You can even add a recording. So you could add a recording of yourself explaining the assignment. This is particularly helpful if you have students who have vision challenges. There is a Google Drive assignment feature, so if you have something saved in your Google Drive and you would like to assign that to students, this function will allow you to create a copy of that document for each of your students individually. You'll put in a due date. We'll say that the due date is going to be the first day of school, and you can change the time. So if I'm assigning this to my first hour class, I can have my due date be at 9 in the morning, which is when my class gets started, or finishes, I should say. And then I can change the point value to however many points it's worth. We'll make this 15 points. At this point, I can choose the category. It could be an ungraded assignment, so something that I want to know that students completed, but it's not calculated towards their overall grade. This is great for math teachers who don't grade homework but do expect students to turn it in. It could be a formative assessment, which is what we'll mark this, or summative. The scale should show up as numeric, and then you have some options at the bottom. The first option is to individually assign this. So if I was assigning this assignment to 2 out of my entire class, or a group of 10, I could individually assign this, and I would type in the names of those students and select them from the list that shows up. I'm not going to individually assign this, so I don't need to worry about that. I can align my learning objectives. With standards-based assessment and recording, this is going to be a function that's highly encouraged right from the get-go. So let's explore. When I click on the target, think learning target, I have my learning objectives box come up. From this learning objectives box, I'm going to select my state standards, and Minnesota you'll see populates right at the beginning. That does save us a little bit of time. There's academic standards and Common Core academic standards. This is the English language arts. If I were to just do academic standards, I have all of my content areas here. So I'm going to choose from the Common Core for language arts. So I select my content, and then I need to go to 7th grade. I have reading, writing, speaking, and language standards. This is a practice for reading. So I'm going to select the first one. It is literature, and I drill down until I find the standard that matches my assignment. So we're going to select this first one, citing several pieces of textual evidence to support analysis of what the text says explicitly, as well as inferences drawn from the text. I simply click it, it turns green, and I have a check mark. I'm going to add that learning objective to my assignment. And you'll see that learning objective pop up here. You'll want with each of your assignments to select the learning objectives tied to that formative or summative assessment. Go ahead and skip over the lock. We're not going to lock our assignment right now. You'll see that it has a submissions enabled icon. If you are collecting student work within Schoology, students will be submitting a video or a recording or typing in responses to your work, then you would leave it enabled. If, however, this is an assignment that you are collecting in class, we're going to uncheck that so that it says submissions disabled. When it says submissions disabled, Schoology is not looking for students to submit work within the Schoology program. You would collect their work and enter them into the gradebook when you have students' assignments collected. The green button just means that it's published to students. We want to make sure that they see that. If you are entering in assignments early and you're not ready for students to see that that assignment exists, you can still put all of the information in and unpublish it until you're ready for students to see it. Then you would simply open up your assignment and you would publish it. The next one has the grading statistics disabled. You can enable the grading statistics if you like. That would show you percentages and graphs that show the performance of your students. And then you see the talking bubble. This is not my favorite bubble, so I always click it off. Comments disabled means that students cannot comment on the assignment. In the past, when I've put an assignment in Schoology, on occasion I'll have students write comments like, "Hi, how you doing? This was easy," and various other things that are distracting to their classmates and show me that they are distracted themselves. So I like to turn that off. If I want students to comment, rather than creating an assignment, I would create a discussion, and that's a perfect place to allow them to talk to each other. The last one allows me to copy to courses. So if I'm going to assign this to multiple courses, if I click on that, I have the option to select the courses that I would like this assignment to go into. I'm not going to do that here, but I have that function. And then I would hit create. Once I have created the assignment, it shows up in my gradebook. And then when students turn in their work, I can simply click in the grid. Since there are no members of this course, you can't see that function here. But I would simply click in to enter their grade in accordance with their work. And that is how you would create an assignment.